Have you ever gone on a vacation and wondered if you can use the kitchen for your food while keeping kosher? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. I'm away on vacation and we rented this house from a non-Jew. It's a house that doesn't keep kosher, and we want to know what can we use in the kitchen and what can we not use in the kitchen. Certain adjustments. So let's go right into it. So first of all, this is obvious. You can only use it if the owner means for it. So this is meant for use. So you open the cupboard, and first thing you come across are dishes. So it's interesting. Dishes can be used even if they belong to a non-Jew in a temporary way, as long as you're using it with something cold. So as long as you are not having something warm, you can use any number of dishes. You can use the cutlery if you're eating ice cream. You can use a spoon right here, as long as you're eating cold things. Interestingly, onions, specifically onions, are considered to be the same as something warm. So you wouldn't be allowed to cut an onion with a knife from this kitchen, but you will be allowed to eat anything cold, anything that's basically cold and not spicy. You can take these dishes, cups, spoons, plates, and use them for it. Fridge, obviously, I need not tell you, there's no need to take any precautions. You don't need to have a kosher fridge. Next thing we have here is a microwave. Microwave is very important because you can use it a lot when traveling. There are two ways for you to be using a kosher microwave. The first is you can take the microwave as it is now, right here. Seems pretty clean. Make sure there's nothing in it. Make sure you double wrap what you are using, so you can either use that nylon paper or double wrap with Ziplocs. Make sure it's not something too liquidy that it doesn't blow up on you, but as long as it's double wrapped, you don't need to do anything. Just put it in here and use it. That's one way to use the microwave. The other way to use the microwave is you can make it kosher. What do you do to make a microwave kosher? Again, you make sure it's clean, you clean around, make sure there's nothing here, no oil, no grease. Then you're going to take a bowl, maybe a paper bowl, and you're going to fill it with water. Put it in for about 20 minutes until all of the water evaporates. It's going to be very steamy, and you've got a kosher microwave. Once you've done that, once you've made sure that it's all steamed and cleared, the place where the plate is on, you pick up, pour here hot water to make sure that that also gets hot water, and you've got a kosher microwave. So there are two options. Again, you can either double wrap or make the microwave kosher by putting in a bowl, steaming it, and pouring hot water on that spot as well. Next, toaster. I actually got into a lot of detail with this, speaking to one of the greatest rabbis of the day, and he concluded that you will not be able to use the toaster even though it's not used with anything wet. It's complicated. I look in here, I see a lot of crumbs. Could be from a waffle, could be from something completely not kosher. So unless you're really dying for a toaster and want to take it out and heat it up with fire and stuff like that to make it kosher, don't bother. You'll manage without toast. We'll see, there are other ways if you really want toast. The next item we have here is a hot water kettle. The hot water kettle usually has metal in it. You see in here, you've got metal. So even though usually things that are made with metal, you need to make kosher, since this is pretty clear, it's used only for water, exclusively for water. I look inside here, it's only for water. You can use it even without making it kosher. Especially if you're using it, just for water for your tea or coffee, you can use this without doing anything, unusual to it. Just make sure that when you look inside, it's clear and it's evident that you had only water in here, as opposed to if you see some marks, could be someone made soup in it. So you want to make sure that this was used for only for water. But if this was used only for water, you're all good. Even though it belongs to a non-Jew in a non-kosher kitchen, it's fine. You can use it. Next item, and most important item, the stovetop. So as you see, the stovetop here is not a regular one. Its top is made from the ceramic glass type, and so you want to know what to do with that. You can use it, just follow these guidelines. Make sure when you use it, you clear it from any kind of grease. So maybe take a paper towel, maybe take a sponge or soap or whatever it is. Make sure it is clear, otherwise there can be fat, there can be grease, there can be oil that's not kosher. That's the first step you want to do, is make sure it's clear. Next, All you need to do is bring your own pot, and you can use it. What you do need to be very careful about is making sure that when you're using your pot, there is no fluid touching so that it doesn't spill over. If it spills over, it could be a problem because we believe that when there's fluid, there's sort of the food transform from one to the other. There's a rule called ein bli'a yotzet mikli lekli belo rotev. Usually food doesn't transfer without any kind of liquid, so just make sure when you're using it, nothing spills over, which in general is a good idea to make sure about. Some people will only use it if they do what's called libun kal, meaning they'll heat it to the highest heat for about a half an hour. If you want to do that, that's great, God bless you. Not necessary, as long as you make sure it's clean. Bring your own pot, you're all good. If you don't have your own pot, that's when problems begin. You cannot use a pot that was used for not kosher food to make your own food, even if you're just making pasta. So make sure when you travel, you bring your own pot. Next is the actual oven. So you want to use the actual oven. You are in luck. Why? Because this oven and many have a self-clean function. As long as you put it on self-clean until everything's hot. By the way, before you put on self-clean, make sure it's safe, look around, make sure no kids running around because it can get really hot. Also make sure inside it's completely clean, there's nothing, no grease, nothing left over. So you put it on self-clean for about an hour or so, make sure it really heats up, gets hot. Then you can use it for your kosher food. So that makes life pretty easy. So you got a stovetop, you got an oven. Finally, a coffee machine. Coffee machines are hard to really quantify and explain because there are so many. There's an espresso, there's Keurig, there's this one, I think, what's it called here? Cruise Smart. Whatever it is, they function in different ways. Take a look at the Starkey Kosher website to find out about that. Otherwise, enjoy your travels. If you have any questions, feel free to leave comments. I respond pretty quickly to the questions in the comments section. Thank you so much for listening, and happy vacation.